Hello viewers, let's talk about Angry Young Men, out now on Amazon Prime Video. It talks about the legendary writers Salim Khan and Javed Akhtar, who wrote some of the most popular movies ever made in the history of Hindi cinema. They worked together from 1960s till 1982 when they split due to reasons that are still not clear to the public at large. This is my single biggest problem with this Amazon Prime series. They have dedicated 3 episodes to salim-javed. The show is produced by stalwarts like Salman Khan, Farhan Akhtar, and Zoya Akhtar, but they fail to answer the one question that people of my generation are most curious about. I wasn't alive when Salim-Javed were at the peak of their powers. I became aware of Javed Akhtar, in fact, as a great lyricist, and Salim Khan, to be perfectly honest, as the father of Salman Khan. Later, I learned that Salim Khan was also a famous scriptwriter. He was the Salim in the famous duo of salim-javed. Even later, I found out that the Javed in salim-javed was none other than Javed Akhtar, the famous lyricist. This naturally raised the question, why did they stop working together? Now, with every successful team, like the Beatles, a lot of intrigue exists surrounding the possible cause of their split. Mostly splits happen because of mutual disagreement on certain issues, but the probable cause is usually talked about in the media. Maybe the cause of the split between Salim Javed was also talked about at length in contemporary newspaper articles. A headline is shown in the trailer of the show, Salim Javed Come to Blows. Now, as a curious viewer, one would imagine that upon viewing the show, one would learn more about this particular newspaper article, which carried such a sensational headline. Did they actually hit each other, or was it just a figure of speech? It is not answered in the show. It is, however, answered on Reddit, which remains undoubtedly the world's most reliable source of information. Jokes aside, Namrata Rao, the director of this show, should have asked about the veracity of the reports of them coming to blows in Holiday Inn. That would have made it less of a hagiography. An article in the Hindustan Times says that the director of Angry Young Men did not want to make a hagiography. That is, a documentary that deals with its subjects with too much reverence, almost transforming them into saint-like figures. If the subjects of your documentary are known for being irreverent, having created fictional characters that are still the benchmarks of irreverence, then why not be clear enough to dispel the myths and set the record straight once and for all? Instead, we only get hints. We get Javed Akhtar intellectualizing the answer to the question, why did you split, by saying, as we were over the spring of our work together. Salim Khan proudly declaring that they split in a civilized manner without throwing dirt at each other. Salman Khan confirming that Javed Akhtar was the one who had decided to end the partnership, and Jaya Bachchan tearfully recounting how Salim Javed only worked together for a short time. Now, there are media reports that Amitabh Bachchan may also have played a role in this split, but let's place it in the bucket list of sensationalism in the absence of real answers from the people involved. So many sensational questions could have been answered directly by the people who were involved and alive during the split. When confirmation from primary sources are not available, sensational rumors tend to fill up the vacuum left. This is why documentaries about prominent celebrities leave the viewer unsatisfied, because there always seems to be issues in India that remain out of bounds for the makers of the show. These issues are also invariably the most intriguing aspect of why many viewers would be drawn to watching this show. A viewer like me is left to research the topic myself. I find shocking details on Reddit, but I have no means to know whether it was true or not. Let me contrast this with another documentary about an issue that I was quite familiar with as it was happening in real time because I was alive during that event. This is the story of Luis Figo's transfer from Barcelona to Real Madrid. It was perhaps the most controversial transfer in football history, as Barcelona and Real Madrid are arch rivals. It would be like Lionel Messi moving from Barcelona to Real Madrid in his prime. The Figo transfer issue was dealt with so well in the documentary, a viewer was left satisfied because there was on-record statements from all the prominent characters involved, including Luis Figo, his agent, and the then bosses of both Barcelona and Real Madrid. Difficult questions on sensitive topics were asked, and responses were recorded for the audience to carefully observe. But you probably cannot expect that from Indian shows, even if they openly declare to not be hagiographies. To be fair to the makers of the show Angry Young Men, they do hint at certain disagreements that Salim Khan and Javed Akhtar may have had. Their irreverent attitude, which may have ticked off other people in the film industry, is mentioned several times. Personal lives, divorces, and some sensitive issues regarding their childhood are also mentioned. Javed Akhtar openly accepts that it wasn't an equal relationship because of the 10-year age difference, and Salim Khan was almost like a father figure for him. Amitabh Bachchan also mentions that he had worked with both of them separately, but he felt that them working together was a different story altogether, which for the observant viewer could be viewed as a statement that has perhaps more than meets the eye. It cannot be called a hagiography because while it shows how they proved the trade pundits wrong by personally vouching for the success of Sholay in 1975, when it had received universally negative reviews after its release, Angry Young Men also shows how salim-javed received a taste of their own medicine when a similar ploy failed to prevent the box office failure of the 1977 movie Iman Dharam, which also had a stellar star cast including Amitabh Bachchan. Having said all that, I'll still recommend this show to you because it is a great nostalgia trip for those of us who have grown up watching and rewatching umpteen number of times movies like Sholay, Diwar, Trishul, Zanjeer, Dawn, Shan, Shakti, and Mr. India. It also depicts a great rags to riches story, talks about how struggle is an everlasting companion, how success has destroyed more people than failure, the secret to the craft of writing, and how in the absence of a great writer getting his due, they are forced to become a mediocre director. These are universal themes, and the contrast between the dizzying heights scaled by the writing duo of salim-javed and the way even popular writers of the present day and age are treated is dealt with magnificently. There is such a memorable line in the movie that resonates with me. Okay, it's not a movie, it's a documentary, but feels like a movie. A producer tells a writer, "You're an artist, you should not be worrying about money." To which the writer replies, "Yes, you're right. Please ensure that I never have to worry about money." Check out Angry Young Men on Amazon Prime Video if you're a fan of Hindi movies, and while it doesn't match up with the best documentary work I've ever seen, it's definitely binge-worthy. Thank you for watching my video. Take care, bye-bye, and please don't forget to be awesome.